Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rowan here, and I'm super honored and excited to be part of Ultiworld's telethon, 24 hours raising money for a good cause. And in this segment, I got about an hour long to rewatch the USA Belgium men's final at the World Beach Championship, and couldn't be more excited to be participating here. Shout out to everyone who's donated and who's watching live. I have a little AMA on Instagram. We try to be a little bit interactive. So if you have a question, you can either message this chat here on YouTube, and Aiden's going to relay me your question, or you can respond to my question on Instagram. I just want to keep it a little open-ended and a little loose. And instead of going into the nitty-gritty game analysis that everybody's so familiar, I'm going to talk more about the bigger parts of the game and some of the aspects of Ultimate that really took place at this event and at a lot of international events. So just setting the stage for a little bit of what it's like to play in that world's level, and also talk a little bit about the world when it comes to Ultimate. Here in the US, we take it very seriously and have a big youth scene that kind of feeds through the college scene and allows a lot of the US teams to, be the favorites going into some of these tournaments. But I think the world is on the rise. I've been privileged to coach in Asia, Europe, South and Central America, and I think that the next 10 years, we might start to see a little more global dominance and not just North American centric. So just wanted to kind of set the stage there, and hopefully we can get this game up and running and talk a little Frisbee while we're at it. Just to set the stage here too, Belgium played France in the semifinals, and that we knew on US that we were going to face either of those teams probably for the championship. France played us incredibly close early on, but that France-Belgium semifinal was an incredible watch. You should take a look if you have the Ultiworld subscription. It's over there, and it came down to Universe Point. We were watching back at our Airbnb, and Raekwon's like, they should never huck it on Universe. And sure enough, 5 seconds later, France hucked it out the back, and Belgium came down to win the game. So stage is set for a beautiful afternoon. And the first thing that we just got a shout out is the crowd. International events have the best crowd because all of these people are essentially Ultimate players. If you weren't following along, this tournament had masters, grandmasters, great grandmasters. So just thousands of players over this incredible beach, Portimao, Portugal. And I could not recommend it here. Second thing too, they had the A team in the commentating booth. So, Benji and Steph just doing a great work as always, if you haven't seen it. So we're going to kick it off here. And yeah, I want to start by talking a little bit about, our game plan was to hopefully hold all of our points on offense, because on beach, there's just such an advantage of moving in the sand. It's just harder to play defense, harder to close separation. So we were just trying to kind of hand the disc off up and down the field and get a couple of breaks off them. That's what we were doing all tournament long, but we definitely ran into some sticky spots here. Luckily, we have fantastic players like Rafi, who I, kind of roomed with in the downstairs living room here and there throughout this tournament. Raekwon, which we'll get to in a second. So Launder, who just pulled it, is brothers, of course, with Tobe, my teammate in New England. And funny story here, my dad was randomly taking a trip to Ireland, and it just so happened to overlap with Euros, maybe 2022, or I can't even remember the year. And he came back and he said, hey, y'all need to recruit this Launder de Crane for DC Breeze. And at this point, people are definitely hearing Toby's name, but it's just kind of funny that, my dad had an eye for the talent, and Launder is just super incredible. I ended up trading jerseys with him after, but yeah, he's a super, super awesome competitor. Talking a little bit of Ultimate here, we just had a system, just like a little 2-3 on the beach, but no real, system from that. The things that we wanted to do was just run up line as handlers over and over again and get these little chisels, and then let Raekwon and Christian just work around the goal line. They were just absolutely unstoppable all week. And the only two players that literally were moving on grass, like they were on grass on the sand. So the problem here, I'm on this right there, I just do the throw and go, is these kind of grinding end zone points just take a big toll on the lungs. Beach Ultimate, if you haven't played it, is a joy, especially as you age. 36 years young right now, but while the beach is good on the knees and on the hips and on the hamstrings, those poor lungs and the lactic acid buildup. So multiple times I'm just yelling at Christian and Raekwon and Tyler, Johnny, just, hey, y'all go to work. I'm going to catch my breath over here in the corner. So no goals, no assists in the championship here, but that's fine by me. Awesome. And yeah, we just had our first donation. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Anonymous donor, selfless and humble. And yeah, shout out there. And before I came on, Ultiworld sent me that list of what's going to happen with if they hit the threshold. So there's some fun ones there. I think the lives in the fields is going to be epic. And yeah, keep the donations coming. So really appreciate that for Anonymous. Flipping the switch, this is USA's first D point, and I vlogged this game actually and put out an episode on YouTube. But yeah, obviously when it comes to stopping Belgium, it's definitely focused on Don. He does things that, honestly, it's a little bit sad because you realize I'll never be able to do those things, and I, even in my prime, probably wasn't able to do those things. He's just a magician out there. So we ended up putting two scrappy defenders. Charlie is on him this point, and you can see him just fronting, playing him fearless. And the game plan literally was, if they take a few shots at Don, that's not the end of the world, because he was doing so much heavy lifting behind the disc. He was getting centers, he was handling way more than he was in the club season. So literally, that's a coaching and Charlie win on the first point. That's exactly what we were kind of looking for. And all of a sudden, we have a break to start. Breaks on the beach are even more important than grass, in my opinion, because the games are so short. If you look at the timestamp, 42 minutes here, then that's a fast game. And it sucks, and it's very stressful to be down or tied with like no margin of error, because the game is just so close. So this first break, super huge. Rafi just absolutely had a great year himself. World Games, last year's Player of the Year and championship, came out cooking today. Luckily, we get this first break, and that's a little bit of a breathing room. But now I just want to kind of switch speeds a little bit and talk something about the world stage. USA men's division, that's what I had played in for the last couple of cycles, definitely comes in as the favorite. But for the first time, really, like this beach tournament, I did not personally feel like we were the favorite. I was thinking the field had a better shot, simply because the top end talent around the world, like this Belgium O-line, like they can hang, like they're incredibly talented. They have some of the best players in this game, and USA's superpower over the last few years that I've been playing is the depth. When we went to Australia for Worlds, that team of 24, 2D lines was just absolutely scary. But on the beach with only 5 players playing at once, that really reduces the impact of a strong bench. And even though our bench was still pretty strong, it's neutralized. So the fact that we didn't have our biggest superpower, which is the bench, and also the fact that the top end talent on France, Belgium, and even some of the other teams we played on was very comparable to us, it made us nervous. And to combat that, we did a lot of prep. So here Belgium's able to get on the board. 2-1. We're going out the next point. We ended up switching out the rotation. I personally didn't play as much in the final. We had Johnny go every point. I think me, Raekwon, and Christian were in a little pod. And then the cutters, Brett, Benny, and Tyler were in their own pod. So I was playing about 2 out of 3 here. And the good news is when you're not playing as much, you can be on the sideline, hyping up your boys. So here we go. Belgium, scrappy D-line. They are athletic, and we knew coming in that we just needed to continue to work on our chisels, our small stuff, and then let Johnny make his shots down the line. Mario changed the game this tournament. I don't know if you saw the vlog, but something that anybody watching here, if you want to take back to your team, Rio would come out on offense. He would have like this notebook. I don't have one, but it would literally have the play, the arrows, and then everybody could visually see what everybody was doing. It was super sick, and yeah, I think I want to make a video just on that approach because that can really help offenses come out, execute their pull play. And then, like I said, after the pull play, it was just kind of anybody's game downfield. We didn't overscript anything. Here was our offense quite a bit of the week. Johnny to Raekwon, Adkins, just, yeah, you can see right here, they overlaid his walk-off at Club Nationals, but the funny story with him is USA had 2 weeks to train for this tournament, and even though the tournament was in November, we ended up training in January and February. Nobody's going to come during the club season to, play Beach Ultimate. The focus is on your club team. So the second week I missed, I was traveling in Europe doing a clinic, and the only thing that I was hearing was, well, Raekwon was the absolute best player on the weekend. And it was a little surprise to me because he didn't play the first weekend, so I had never really played with him. And I'm like, oh, wow, like, that's cool. Like, he's going to be like a big part to the team. And then lo and behold, absolutely crushes the club season, and then literally was the best player at this tournament in the men's division. So super fun playing with him. And yeah, we're going kind of back out here. Let's see how Chuck does with Don. This time Don's been hanging around the disc after his deep cut turn, and we'll see if Chuck kind of starts to force him back downfield. Not sure that they get this one here. That's a great cut. Oh, yep. Little miscomm coming across here. Those ones are, this one actually happened to me later in the game, but once you stop on sand, it's so hard to readjust, and sure enough, they kind of sat for that inside, and the thrower wanted to lead him. We'll see it right here. Like right there, he sits, and you just can't regain that distance. So here comes our D-line again. I think AJ, we're talking about MVPs and Raekwon. AJ was definitely, in my opinion, just our absolute MVP. He got real blocks. What's a real block? Good question. A real block in Ultimate is when you actually earn the possession. There's a lot of fake blocks in Ultimate on like an overthrow that you mac or like a pro block that you get a hand on. But AJ was able to take some real blocks throughout the week as he kind of scores here. And as always, a huge threat. Yeah, let's talk about AJ for a minute. Talk about somebody who has willed himself. I met AJ eight years ago, maybe 9. And if you look at some of my older YouTube videos, I'm just teaching people how to throw. And if I need somebody, I call up AJ, because first thing AJ ever said was like, hey, like, I'm trying to be great. Like, let's get to work. So whenever I needed somebody to film, I'd be like, all right, I'll throw a little bit with AJ, film a little bit with him. And you can literally see him 17, 18 years old, maybe 18, 19 in some of those videos. And at first it was like, okay, like, he's going to be pretty good. He's got his length. He's got a track background. He was a good 400, 800 runner. But did I think he was going to be like this good? Absolutely not. And how he got there was just outworking everybody. You know, he trains 2-3 times a day. Follow him on Instagram. And literally, I bet, let's see if I go bring up his Instagram, if he's been in the lab today, as he calls it. Search AJ, that Frisbee guy. Shout out Boxley. Yeah, he's in the gym 2 hours ago. And he's on the field 24 minutes ago. So if you think you're the hardest worker in Ultimate, AJ's probably doing a little bit more. So great dude too. When I went back to DC, I had a procedure on my esophagus. First person I called, AJ, can you drive me? Hour each way, no problem. He showed up. So you probably, oh, this was crazy. A Don drop, but you don't see that often. It was just a complete doink on the sideline, and it's 5-1 US. So at this point, let's see it. Yeah, just the classic. You look for the swing before you catch it. It just goes to show it happens to everybody. I've had as bad, if not worse, drops in my career. But you just kind of got to do what he did. He got back up and almost got a layout block from it. So 5-1 US, back to the field here. And I'm on the sideline thinking, this is wonderful. Pressure's going down. You know, start to enjoy a little bit of the atmosphere. But it was far from over, which we'll learn from shortly. Let's see. Yeah, I think they call a quick timeout to gather themselves, and it's tough, like, to go down 5-1 in a game that you want to win and that you think you can win. It's not easy. So AJ comes back. Let's see. It looks like Charlie's out there. Let's see. Let's take a look at that matchup again, just to see if he continues to push him downfield. And at this point, it looks like Belgium comes out with a little bit of a D-line flex. It looks like Lander's out there. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a hybrid line here, but this is exactly, I think, what Belgium needs is just kind of like a 3-pass goal to kind of get situated. And when I was talking about game analysis earlier, I'm like, I'm not going to go over the X's and O's. I think that's a little bit, honestly, overpressed and overdone. A lot of ultimate strategy and how well your team plays, is that literally the tiny how to cut in a hoe stack, you know, how to run your handler system. It's game management, understanding the emotions and how the players are doing and getting the most out of them, giving them confidence. So this to me is like really a big point for Belgium, where it's like, hey, we haven't played well, but we're just going to take our shots. Like, that's a pretty fearless throw. Great cut, good separation, nice graphics on the screen. And yeah, that to me is a great response. Had Belgium come out and they, you know, long point, they're looking off open hands just because they've got burned a few times, that's to me when you got to start to worry and start to kind of, you know, reorganize the ship. So offense comes back on. Let's see. Yeah, I'm back out here. This one, if you didn't see on Instagram, I did a little highlight tape, and it was literally just catch and pull center to Johnny. This point, I was just like, I'm going to go out there and create a lot of space. And, you know, I just knew how good everybody was around me. So whenever the disc comes this way, you know, here, I'm just going to be like, I'm out. I got stuck in front of the disc on that one, but now it's coming back, and I'm like, all right, this time, nah, I'm out. I'm going to slash across the field, get Benny the disc. And as the disc gets to the end zone, funny little story here, there's a call here in a second or two, and we get to reorganize, and then everybody's kind of asking what's going on. And somebody says, like, Rowan, is it you? And I look over my shoulder. I says, are you kidding me? Like, I got Raekwon right here. Like, you can see me look over my shoulder in a second or two. But then I just yell, Raekwon, your world. And then as soon as the disc gets checked in, I run away. Yeah, right there, I just say it. And, 5 years ago, I was always trying to race to the front of the cone and be the player, score. But those days are past. Raekwon's, he's too fast. So good one for us, 6-2. And halftime's at 7. So let's see. I am going to see if there's any questions on Instagram. Just got a spam text for health insurance. But oh, sweet. Okay, just heard some good news. We had 2 donations come through. Shout out, I believe, Jeremy for $100. Jeremy Z, I believe. That's amazing. And then a 251 from Anonymous. So that's $350 in 2-3 minutes. Rumor has it Ultiworld's matching. So, doing the math, that's $700 to a good cause. So yeah, thanks again so much. If you're watching, if you're donating, we are in for a 24-hour session. Luckily, I got the early shift. So I think looking at the schedule too, which let me read off here, there's definitely some good stuff coming up. Let's give you a little bit of an overview. Next up, Huckin' A Live. Hell yeah. I believe that's, it's going to be amazing. Rumor has it that they have a special guest coming on. So we'll see who that is. My guess it's going to be a Canadian player, knowing a little bit about that podcast, but that's a pretty sweet podcast. They've been super consistent over the last couple of years, and that'll be a fun one. Gaming with Jeff Babbitt. If you don't know, Jeff Babbitt is the best at Ultimate, but also the best at everything. He's the best baker and also the best gamer. So, he is good at everything he does. Let's see. I wonder, what's his game called? He's going to kill me that I forgot his game. Him and Petey Borth always play it. So, PUBG. Shout out the assist there. PUBG. He's a great PUBG player. Catch of the Year show. Picking the best of the best. That's going to be fun. What do I think the best catch was? Best of the Year. Ultiworld. Oh, I'm just getting something in. Yep. I did not hear the Going Back to Rockford song. I'm not sure if I was unprepared for some of this. Tell Jeremy if he writes, then I can give him a little video. I'll send him a video of the song when I learn what I'm supposed to be doing. So I got you, Jeremy. It's not going to be here. I don't know what that means, but I will send you the video. Thank you for the donation. Awesome. So we have Jeff Babbitt coming up, Catch of the Year, Ultiworld Family Feud, World Game, Send It Back, Parties with Keith. Wow, Keith's got the 11 to midnight shift. That's tough. Charlie Eisenhood's got the 12 to 1 shift. Even harder. Wow, some dedicated editors and co-editors in chiefs right there. All right, 6-3. We're playing for half here. And one thing we haven't really gotten is the quick hit score, which we had been shooting in some of the windier games. Johnny was just taking a couple hucks off the bat. But we're kind of grinding against Belgium. They haven't really gave us anything easy. In fact, I'd say touches per point were higher in this game than any game we had played. But here we get a little bit of a breakthrough. I think this is Christian to his partner in crime, Johnny, on the slash. And halftime is 7 on Beach. So that's pretty sweet. The games are a little bit shorter, and halftime's only 2 minutes, which Grass Ultimate needs to take the 10-minute halftime. Come on. Let's just make it 5 minutes and get back out there. So there's Johnny, best handler in the world. Funny Johnny story. This is what this segment's all about. A little deeper dive onto some of my teammates. Johnny, the best handler in the world, goes out to Seattle, and I was watching some film, and they have him coming out of the stack, and kind of being like the auxiliary handler like I was to him. And I was just watching it like, thank you, Sakai, for giving the division a chance. It's really means a lot to every other team in the open division that you're hiding the best handler in the whole world. So looked like they gave him a little bit bigger role coming down the stretch at Nationals, and his stats were amazing and his impact was even higher. But yeah, just like a little head scratcher. If I'm coaching Sakai, he's literally the best. So, all right, halftime here. Let me check, see if there's any questions coming in. And there is one. Did you? Okay, this is a good question. This is a good timely question. I believe from Lucer. Did USA change the game management when Belgium made their move in the second half? So, yeah, not to spoil anything, I thought we were running away with it, which was a bad headspace to be in. But Belgium is scratchy. They scratched and clawed their way back, and I will definitely go over some of those conversations because to this point, our game plan, front Don, make them go out, has already gotten one turnover. Their offense has been struggling a little bit, and our offense has been smooth. So we really haven't had to change or adjust anything. Everything's going to plan. And we'll see what happens in this half that actually did tweak it. One kind of fun tactical game analysis thing for coaches and captains out there. We rolled out 2 D lines. We had an O line and 2 D lines. And instead of just saying, like, this is USA's defense, the coaches were able to, let's watch this one real quick. This was insane defense by AJ. At first, I'm like, there's no chance he had that. And then it looked actually like he kind of did get it. Maybe there was some contact on the shoulder, whiffed if that's technically a foul, but this was an incredible closing speed by AJ. Yeah, so at first it was like it had to be a foul, and then look at this one. Like, maybe AJ just caught it. And that's what Benji was just saying. So, yeah, going back to it. So USA doesn't just have defense. The coaches put 2 lines out there, and each line had their own way to play just based on personnel. I think I caught it from AJ. One line was playing a little bit more contained, bring that handler defender in the lane, trying to force backfield swings. One line was fronting and forcing out. But it's kind of important to think about that in your team. Not every team has the luxury of 2 world-class D-lines. Maybe you do have to mix and match, but maybe having a line that's a little more helpy, switchy, poachy, and one line that's just the athletes that are just fronting and trying to get blocks. So that's one really kind of important thing I think we did, and we did well as a coaching staff on USA. Put our players in a place to succeed and have those 2 lines. So AJ Ref, I saw them trading jerseys after, so they're super cool. They had a great matchup. I think on this point, Ref kind of gets AJ back a little bit, but yeah, they definitely had a good time, and it's great to see Ref back. He was like blowing up as one of the best players in Europe, had a knee injury, I think at Windmill, and now he's back and he looked fantastic. He was going downfield, he was hucking, and yeah, we'll see how Belgium, the Mooncatchers, look at Worlds. Yeah, speaking of Belgium and Worlds, I think that Moon's not the only team that wants to win. I talked to Toby last night. There's like a little Dig and Friends, Brendan McCann house, White Elephant Christmas party. Oh, here's the oh no, this is Rafi's. And I was talking to Toby, and he said, Gentles is lining up a good run for Worlds. So they're going to have a couple pickups. I'm not going to spoil anything here. And look at this. Could be block of the year. I was watching from the bottom of the screen and was halfway on the field celebrating. It looked like he misread it. It looked like it was right to AJ. It looked like there was separation. And the question I have, I was too scared to ask him. I'm a little shy, starstruck around him. Was like, do we think he actually saw it over his head in the blind spot? Or did he like jump and just like assume it was going to be there? Like either way, that was just wild. And I know he plays a lot of defense too, but he's like 80% of his points come on offense, and to be able to do that on defense was crazy. So yeah, incredible block. But yeah, Belgium's going for it, Moon's going for it, Gentle's going for it, the men's crown in Ireland, and we'll see who gets it done. My two early predictions as the AJ ref round 2 comes up. Damn. AJ almost got there. AJ is sneaky, but the ref, good catch there, and mutual respect from that matchup. AJ wanted that matchup as soon as the French Belgium game was done. I was like, who won AJ? He's like, ref. And so my world's predictions, sadly, Dig did not make it. Didn't really get too close. Lost in the pre-quarters, and it's going to be hard to beat Revolver, in my opinion. I just think that even though there's been no repeat champs in the men's division for whatever that stat is, 10 years, maybe more, like Revolver isn't that old. They seem like they have a good culture and buy-in. I think a lot of their pieces are improving, like Raekwon. Yeah, just like they're the complete package. They have everybody that just does their job. They don't rely on like one or two people. All those to me give the sense of that they're the biggest favorite that the men's division has had in a while. And it's going to be hard. The one thing for US teams, if you're watching internationally, the balance of playing world clubs at your peak is really hard, because the USA Nationals is just everybody's number one goal. It's the hardest tournament in the world. And even though national championships doesn't sound as good as world championships, it's just in our psyche. We want to be the best team in October. We're not going to necessarily be that in August. I think it's mid-August. That said, like teams are going to be good. And here's the Johnny Raekwon matchup that actually got blocked. I think that was Launder. But yeah, our first turn all day. And we'll see. I think this is another one that it's closer than it looks. Like it looked like he kind of got tackled, but this brings up one of the... we should get Rico on here, because Rico Suave, Del Rico Johnson, is always advocating that if they throw it to the defense and the offense comes into the space, that's never really called. Like, what is Ben supposed to do? He kind of threw it to Ben. Ben took a straight line, not a dirty play, and Don rightfully tried to go back to the disc. But why is that always a foul on defense? So this one is a super textbook example of kind of a bigger question in Ultimate. I don't know what you think. Maybe if you're watching, share your perspective. It is a foul, but it's also kind of a foul on offense. But offense always, you know what, you got to protect the offensive player in Ultimate. It's part of the game. It's actually, yeah, I think it's Ben's personally. And I think I told that to Don after the point, and he said, you can't play defense or something funny back. There he goes back, bumps my boy Johnny. Wasn't happy with that, but great catch, and first break from Belgium. The hold at a half break, now it's a 2-goal game, and yeah, now is a good time to address the question from Instagram. So, did we change anything? No, we actually really didn't. On offense, it's a mistake to just change things when... All right, here's the real answer. Hypothetical. If you're a coach, things aren't going well, do you continue because you've practiced these things and put time into these things, or do you just jump ship and try something new? This is a great check-in question for any coach in the middle of a season, because there's nothing worse than trying something, instilling something, an ethos, a system, host stack, keep the middle of the field empty, vert stack, cuts from the front. And then as soon as you get a little resistance, change it. Like that is a sure way to torpedo your season. Oh no, we got broken 3 times in one game. We had a bad Saturday at a tournament. We need to go host stack. No, you need to commit to something, and you also have to see it through, because the common mistake is teams try something and don't have full buy-in, or they don't really execute it at 100%, and then all of the sudden you've just like haven't given that a chance. And of course it's not going to work. So making sure your team's buying in and trying and committing to something, even through the bumps, is really important. A team that hits those bumps and then changes everything is not going to find success. And that's why, if you look at some of the best offenses, like I've only played in the men's division, so that's what I know. You have some carryover. When DC's offense was super good, me, Tyler, Christian, Johnny, we all played with each other for 4 or 5 years. Revolver's starting to get some more cohesion and chemistry now. Rhino's offense, again, they had 3 years together. So I think it's really important to stick through some bumps and find the growth. So no, we didn't really change anything offensively, simply because we got broken then, and we're about to get broken in a couple more points. So really important. Another philosophical question. That's kind of where I wanted to keep this game analysis. So yeah, just think about that. When you are instilling something, great coaches like give it a chance and stick with it at the appropriate time. There will be times that you have to abandon ship and try something. But yeah, that's kind of an instinct thing that I can get to. I can talk about it forever. If you want to talk ultimate coaching, I have free consultations all the time. Just go to the website, Instagram, or excelultimate.com. And I had 2 today. I talked with players for 10 minutes, talked handler defense, and I also talked getting ready for tryout. So come hang at the consultations. They're free. And Belgium here is starting to get a little bit momentum and make it a game. Shout out quick for a donation. The McCalls just given $100 in. It sounds like that also initiates a song. So, hopefully they're not asking for one too. But Jeremy, I still owe you. But that is now 4 or 5 amazing donations just in this last 30 minutes. So definitely on a good pace here. Really curious where the telethon idea came from. Just got a email out of the blue saying we're doing a 24-hour YouTube video. I was like, it takes me, 24 hours to do a 5-minute YouTube video. So to make this all happen, shout out all the producers, the people behind the cameras, people that organized it. It's a pretty big undertaking, and I'm not sponsored or, work for Ultiworld, but they definitely have elevated our sport in some crazy ways. And the best part, they let me and other content creators, use clips in our YouTube videos. So they're still community driven. Much love to them. And even if you can't donate to this one, support them, because they actually do help support a lot of players in a lot of different ways. So free plug too, totally free. And USA, let's see if this is the point I wanted to talk a little bit about. No, I think it's the next one. But yeah. Oh. Yeah, I know. Yeah, some shout outs in the YouTube. Steph is watching. Like I said, that's a team when it comes to commentating. He's calling it behind my voice. And speaking of people that do a lot for the sport, thank you, Steph. Like Ulti TV is blowing up. Your own brand is blowing up. And some of the super teams that you're organizing are so fun. Ultimate is just a sport that's really hard to find the story with. It's just a bunch of adults who play sports in their spare time at the end of the day. But the fact that there's these cool teams that have meaning and a story behind them and different cultures and communities, make sure you take a look at some of those super teams. And I know I've bailed a few times, but I will get to one. I promise. My calendar is finally going down. 3 years of Team USA tryouts and competitions are all done. So shout out Steph. Noah Backer, saw him last night at Dig and Friends family. Little white elephant gift. So much love there. He's playing Red Tide now. So in Portland. Let's see if I can show you Portland real quick. Shouldn't be a problem. So out the windows there, Portland, Maine, my new city. I was in DC for 10 years and finally had to move up north, which I've been thrilled at. So yeah, thanks for the shout outs in the chat, guys. Kyle too. And let's see if I got anything else cooking here on Instagram to talk about. If I was Steph, I wouldn't have a problem running out of things to talk about. I don't know. Don't know how you do it. I got to, I'm running out of notes. Let's see what I got. Okay. Cool. Actually, this is a little good time to talk a little bit about the game because, yeah, it's about to get a little bit spicy. We force another turn on our team strategy, force them downfield, another coaching win. And then this is the point. Daniel Lee gets a hand on that, drops the disc in a pretty critical area, and just keep watching the film. We get a call here, little pick there, little screen. And Daniel, who literally kind of just dropped the disc, big point, big crowd, just never quits. And if you don't really follow Ultimate too well, he was actually the back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year, comes back here and gets a layout catch block. A multi-turn point, his heart rate's probably at 200 beats per minute, never quits. So I in the vlog, I said that was the point, the play of the game. And yeah, he's pretty gassed right now, but his point is not done yet because I think his boy sends him. I think it's Rafi. But yeah, he's about to have to run a full field sprint. So maybe it was an AJ. Let's see who's going to throw it. Let's see. Troy's probably not going to throw it. He's more of a ball mover. Oh, AJ's going to shoot it. And you can see like him just holding on and one there. So D-Lee with the play of the game. And in my opinion, and Ultimate, people ask me as like an Ultimate coach, how to get better at Ultimate. It's literally effort, 80%. There's so much field to cover. There's so many tempting times to take a break on defense or lose a little bit of focus. But if you can literally try, then you're going to be great. Obviously, you want to build up the athleticism a little bit, the movement quality in your throws. But there's just so much you can get by trying a little bit harder than the other team and the other player. So, I mean, right there, he wasn't involved in the play, but 91, Troy Holland, literally textbook, absolute workhorse. I was like, Troy, what are you doing on the track? He's like, 200s. I'm like, what are your 200 times? He's like, yeah, under 25. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not there. So I got some work to do to match Troy Holland when it comes to some of that work you put in. There he is, the GOAT, Don himself. After this tournament, the season was like 10 months. All of a sudden, I open up Instagram, and Don and AJ are playing together at PAUC, Pan American Ultimate Championships. And I was just like scratching my head. You know, how do they have the energy after 10 months of nonstop? There's probably not two players that played more Ultimate than Don and AJ when it comes to points played in 2025. Don plays every point, every game. AJ plays pickup in the middle of the week between practices. And then they go out to the Dominican Republic and they win gold. So there's another one, system turn. This is Lucas, again, forcing Don deep. I wouldn't encourage forcing Don deep, but when, you know, it's the lesser of two evils, and that's the second turnover we've got simply by coaching. So coaching in Ultimate is blowing up. Again, if you need any help coaching, I coach a few teams virtually and do a couple of national programs. So Belgium gets this back. If they don't block that, it's 11-6 and the game is over. good block, good high five there from Jack, and a game-saving play for sure. And even though you might think the game's already out of play. Anyways, I want to bring up another bigger picture question, open-ended. This is more of a question. At PAOK, Don and AJ played alongside A-Roy and some other U.S. players on the Blue Devils. They got the gold. With Worlds coming, what do we think? This could be a one for Deep Look, for Charlie and Keith. Actually, get me on this call. This would be fun. The pickups, what do we think are... Is there too many pickups? Are pickups ruining World Clubs? Are they ruining some of these other tournaments? Like, what's the line and level? A few cycles ago, Chris and Jimmy went to Australia to literally practice and train for 3 months. I thought that was pretty sweet. And then, that Australian team, goes to finals, goes to semis. But yeah, since then, I've done that. I've picked up with Venezuela, and then we beat a few other teams. And there's teams there that don't have pickups, and I don't know if it's fair or not. So definitely want to wonder with this Worlds year and the fact that Ultimate is even more global than ever now, in my opinion. Where's the line of these club teams just grabbing 5 ringers, 3 superstars, international players that have nothing to do with the club? I don't know. I'll probably play if somebody asks. I have a few options, but I actually kind of feel a little guilty. But maybe I'll find a mid-level team or try the mixed division, a change. So yeah, I'm very curious and conflicted on the pickups for such a prestigious club tournament where players literally aren't on that club. So let me know what you think if you're watching, or if we can do a little Deep Look segment about it, especially a little later once we start sharing. I know there's some pickups out there, but I don't want to say anything too early. So here we go, 10-7, and this is where I think we're going to get a little bit of a game break. And it's just, again, our normal offense, but we actually do something that we really don't do often here, where in a couple passes, Johnny's going to get the disc on the far sideline, and our reset's a little bit negative, which is fine. I think it's Brett who's coming in the backfield, and we don't really hit Brett. Johnny usually throws that to Brett there, but, now it's kind of a little high stall count, and we try to force one. And, Belgium's athleticism is real, and they take it away. And, just kind of an interesting one there that we usually bounce. That's where a lot of the turnovers are going to come from at any level: beach, grass, youth, pro, club, the sideline, the trap sideline. And, I think maybe an easy bounce there is a little bit more in our wheelhouse. And funny story with Johnny, he was the one that didn't bounce it, but him and Gus Norbaum and Musa Jah led a very underpowered college team to college nationals. It was unheard of. It was a small school, William and Mary, but they literally reset the way to nationals. That was the joke. They're we're just going to possess, we're going to bounce, we're going to get this moving. And that offense was so successful. They outperformed their individual abilities unlike any team in college. Johnny broke his arm right on the game to go and couldn't play at nationals. But that offense was so effective that we were watching in DC. My cousin Thomas Owen called me. He's like, y'all need to do this. This is crazy. So sure enough, Johnny graduated. He came back into the elite men's scene in DC, and we took the William and Mary offense to DC. So if I've told the story a million times, but if you weren't aware, that's where a lot of truck stops, little fast-paced, small ball principles came from. So shout out Merrymen, go Tribe, William and Mary. And USA is about to get broken. Oh, fun one. 9 seconds left. So watch, they score literally with 2 seconds left. Now, I'm not the most savvy when it comes to the minute rule caps and all that stuff. Belgium's little break celebration. Not bad. Good team buy-in. But I think the fact that they scored with 2 seconds left, if they scored 2 seconds later, it would have just been a game to 11. But now the game's a little bit extended. So really interested if he knew what the situation was and tried to force something. But as it is, the time cap is on. And if you're curious, after this point, you add 1 to the high score, which I learned 5 minutes after the game. So it looks like, Belgium's pulling the entire tournament. Our offense, we never got broken twice in a row. So the odds are in our favor here, but it might happen. I'm on here, and I'm actually involved in the turnover. And this is actually, and I'll just kind of share my perspective. The second point of the game where Belgium tried that inside and the player had kind of sat is literally what happens to me. I go up line and sit in that inside space because the mark and my player switched poorly. And so I'm like kind of sitting in that space, and Tyler leads me a little bit more. I'm going kind of 50%. When you're open, stay open. That's my philosophy and should be yours. But the flick just was a little bit behind me, and I couldn't readjust quick enough. So you'll see that in a second. Here, Belgium, I think. No, USA used the timeout just to keep the offense on the field. It's another, and just kind of steady the ship. So let's take a look here. I think it's going to be me, Johnny, Tyler, probably Christian, and Benny. It's fun playing with Yacht, especially at the last beach. Basically, Brian Jones, the coach, even though Mario O'Brien did offense, Brian Jones loves the DC boys. So literally had us in our group playing offense. And then it was like, all right, and take Ben Yacht. And at first we were like, hell no, like we don't need this guy. But over time, he was a huge piece last time, and he was even better this time. So it looks like it's Brett, not Benny, but Ben Yacht was super clutch for us all week. That was our play. If my guy was ever poached, it just came to me. So right here, it was a good poach by Belgium. I couldn't swing it. And here the switch is bad. So I kind of sit, and then actually Tyler kind of threw it to where I was sitting. So, maybe that's a little bit more on me. I didn't talk to Tyler about it yet, but it'll be interesting to see what he thought. I don't think I've passed a disc to anybody more in the world than Tyler, and vice versa. We played the most reps. He's like my partner in crime on the field. Tyler Monroe, super underrated. And he watches a lot of Ultimate, so he might be watching now. Tyler, let me know what you thought. If you just missed a throw or did I move? It kind of sucks. So, and here I make a mistake too. I just know after this call, they're just going to go right back to Don. I should have been in that corner. When he's playing on the D-line too, they're just going to look for him. So I could have played a little bit better defense there. It's 10-9. You may have heard Steph just call it game to 11. And at this point, again, from the vlog, something I highlighted was the coaches were just like, all right, 2 breaks for the offense. Who are we going to put out there? They invented a brand new line that had never played together forever. We didn't practice this at training camps. It was Brian and Mario just picking names out of a hat. Obviously, we're going to put Raekwon out there. Rafi gets there. He had a fantastic game. Jack Hatchett's out there. Ben Yacht sat the last 0 point, so we got his fresh legs. And who was the 5th player? Oh, I think it was our boy Xavier. Xavier Payne. I think was kind of my role. He was like the pole catcher. And so we have a brand new line. They've never played. There is no system. So I guess the question on Instagram, what's good? Did we change anything? We made up a new line. Belgium's got their guys, their best players out there. Launder, Don, Soph. Betrancourt. And all of a sudden from 5-1, it's 10-9, game to 11. And I'm on the sideline. Am I nervous? Yeah, probably pretty nervous. But Perfect pull here. Oh no, Hayes took my spot. Xavier got the center. Hell yeah. Raekwon, just wherever he wants it. Okay, so Xavier QB1 out here. So at first it was a little slow, but then they started moving, a little air bounce break. That was crazy. And at this point, I'm like, okay, like we're out. The disc is moving. Everything's looking good. And then Jack launches this, and I'm like, what is that? It was wild. It was that's not an Oyo. That's like a blade, honestly, with touch. So shout out Jack. He's putting a lot of work on his throws, and he just threw up the wackiest game-winning throw ever. I'm like pissed. I'm like, whoa, like we're taking that decision. And so I'm on the field, and then I find out that we won. And then I was just like, oh, super relief. And Jack, absolutely heroic. We won. And yeah, I had no idea the game was over until, I don't know, we started lining up. That's happened twice in my career. 1 win, 1 loss. And coaches are pumped. You see a hug there. They put in a lot of work. Speaking of MVPs, the coaches like really stepped up, and like I told you, we got 2-3 system turns on the deep shots. They called the right line at the end, and yeah, they called a great game. So a couple of awards, AJ MVP of the week, Christian took Spear Captain to a new level, did a lot of incredible work with the team. We had incredibly thoughtful discussions. He's incredibly well-spoken as a leader. So I think Christian's the voice of the team. Game of the tournament was Japan. It's not filmed, but I just heard today that maybe Ultiworld was filming quarters at a different field and then like moved the drone over. The Japan-USA game was the best game I've ever been a part of. Japan played incredible, and the atmosphere was 10 people deep around the whole field. That's like literally what Ultimate is. We don't have all day to talk about the last part, which is, just came to my mind. It drives me crazy when pro tries to be club and club tries to be pro. It's another deep look one I can hop on for. It was a true club atmosphere, and that's really beautiful. People just around the field. I'm running up and down, talking to teammates, bumping, talking to people watching. Really special atmosphere. So yeah, the Japan game was absolutely unforgettable. Too bad there's no footage there. So we survived here, and Raekwon's getting the shout out, but I hope you're able to just kind of enjoy talking Ultimate with me here for an hour over a beautiful beach game. Again, I think we have some upcoming talent here. Huckin' A is loading. I'm going to get my instructions here soon. Aiden, let me know if you need anything else from me. Shout out to everybody who donated and Ultiworld for putting this together.
I honestly just think the discipline we've had in the training camp, I mean, coming into it, it was super windy, super hard reps, and we knew that we had come
That is, okay, so Jack was in the comments. That is the best analogy I've had to that throw. The truck Oyo with rhino distance. That is really incredible. And Jack also has kind of changed my vision on another idea he had, which is ultimate offense. It's always one-on-one with 5 people trying to create space for that. So Jack has a great mind for ultimate. I've literally kind of taken that and made it my own. So thank you for that. I remember we talked about it on the phone. So yeah, Jack does a lot. He's been on the national stage for a decade. We used to live together 10 years ago. I lived in his living room, and he helped me come up as a player. So it's kind of cool to win some more with him. Yeah, that's a great point. A truck Oyo with rhino distance. So yeah, that's kind of wrapping it up here. Made it through the hour. I think there's like 22 left. So you have to watch for 24 hours. That's part of the telethon. No breaks. Awesome. Cool. There's a little interim cut before Hucking A. That one is going to be a sweet University of Oregon 3-parter, talking a little bit about the program. And I will probably stay on to watch that because it sounds good, and you should too. So be on the lookout there. That's going to come right after me, and that'll lead you up into some of the other amazing content. All right, that's a wrap on my end. Thanks for watching. Find me on Instagram and YouTube. Much love.